Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you can hear my voice, welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Haunted Anonymous Live. I'm going to be fumbling over my words because I'm laying on my couch. I'll just jacked up on my couch right now. Everybody who is here with us right now, thank you for joining us. Be sure to tell everybody right now that we're here. I've got James clickety clicking on the other side, making things work.
I am, in fact,
Thank you.
here.
There you go. I did send a picture to James so his wife can see how old I look. There we go. um, Tonight we have awesome special guest Kevin Motorola from Creepy Hollow Woods in Jay, Florida. He is manager, head man, maker of things, scarer of people. He's going to be with us in a wee bit um, to basically fill us in on his take on the haunt industry right now, what he thinks will be happening in October, if they're doing anything special to prepare for the social distancing, to basically keep the crotch to ass, as I call it, from happening through the walkthroughs of the haunts, and just overall tell us about the haunt, what he does, and who he is, and we'll just let him ramble on for a bit so I can eat some cookies.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
actually.
yeah, he's really good. Creepy Hollow Woods, I think, has been around. Oh shoot! I guess I should let him tell because I think it's 6 years now. But super cool cat. He'll be up in a wee bit. We'll let you know. I am going to let everybody know that We do tend to ramble, and that's what Honors Anonymous is about. And we do tend to have a little bit of expletives here and there. We don't get into politics or religion or any of that kind of bit. We keep that for other live chats and podcasts of other people. We don't do that here, but um, uh, we do go around the world. That's for damn sure. Tonight will probably be a little bit shorter edition, being Wednesday, and the fact that I may or may not have taken too many Tylenol because of my back hurting. I'm kidding. Uh,
It's been a long day for me.
it's been it's been a long day. So we're gonna keep this one relatively quote unquote short, maybe an hour, hour and a half. We'll give plenty of time for Kevin to be on, and of course it will not be his only soiree with us. Hopefully we'll have him on throughout this year. We do plan on making another Friday night live. It will be called the Haunters Anonymous After Dark. For those of you who don't know, we do have a group called Haunters Anonymous After Dark, and it is a bit deeper into the craziness and a little bit more swearing and all that kind of stuff. It's very fun. We do not kick people out. We have very few rules. If you want to come and rant and all that kind of bit, that's great as long as you keep it civil, just like we do here. Except when somebody I know that lives in this town, i.e., Lisa Lay, is on, and she's the bitch. But she may actually end up at my house tonight. Hopefully she's not listening yet.
Got people rolling
So,
in. We got Abby.
oh, hey everybody. I guess I better
Oh,
I
my
better
mom's
get
here.
my
Stopping in.
sweet. Hey James, mom, what's
Oh.
up? Let me go back to PG-13 here.
um.
Um,
So yeah, I got a little bit of news talked about with
ooh, okay.
actually stuff going on. Don't know what yet. There is some type of
Well, I guess better late than never, you know.
Oh, look, Mark made it
Um,
on time this time.
hey, Mark, what's up, dude? Oh, you missed the whole thing, so we'll see you. I'm kidding. Uh,
I actually sent him a personal invite. Not remember.
we'll make a Google Calendar just for Mark. And hey, Mark, how you doing? Oh, here we go. And everybody can hear my freaking tablet being all tablety.
All right, I turned my volume up.
Okay, there we go. Ooh, there is a delay on that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's see. Say something so Hunters Anonymous knows you're here. I'm here, Hunters Anonymous. Um, let's see. William
Borrows the clown. What's up, man?
William Vodkavelli. Holy shit. I like it. That's awesome. Vodkavelli. Oh my God, you should totally trademark that. If that's your real name, I'm not making fun of it. If it's not, I am.
Good. Covering your bases.
I'm covered. Yeah, Moto will be with us in a wee bit. I think James said that probably at the 30 of the hour.
Yeah, if he's good to go now, we can get him in now. It's entirely up to him. Push him.
Oh, Kevin. Oh, he is watching us though. Yeah, man. Don't if you want to pop in, go ahead. If you want to wait for a little bit, um, have yourself a rum and coke or something before you get on. That'll make it just hilarious. I'm Willie Vodka.
Nice. Awesome.
Hey everybody. Hey all the clown folks. How y'all doing? Thank you for popping by. Um, I'd have totally brought the clown car with me if I knew. I'm just kidding. Also, everybody that is sharing this, thank you so freaking much. We're very humbled with just the 7 or so of these we've done that the numbers are just going through the roof, and that's very cool. Um, yeah, Yeah, let me. Obviously, I don't know how to use the Facebook app. That's great. Oh, he did bring. Yeah, no, we see you. We saw you bring some friends there, Kevin. That's awesome. Mucho apreciado. That's not a word either one, so don't use it. Uh,
Sure.
oh, he just needs a link.
Yep.
Okay. Yay! Look at all the love little things going up there. Yay!
Guys are great.
So yeah, so we'll get Kevin in here, so you don't have to listen to us ramble on. We'll let him do that. He's got plenty of information. He's a cool cat. He lives. Who the hell let Willie drive? um, hey Mark, dude, if you don't learn how to spell the word patchouli,
Jesus, he's still on the patchouli thing,
yeah,
huh?
and he's
Can you see the
he's
screen on the on our chat?
who who me?
Yeah, or
Yes, actually, I just enlarged it.
right. Is he still on the patchouli thing, huh?
Uh oh.
I hear the scream.
You see the screen on the
All right, he's in.
What's up? What's up?
Going on,
Hey
man?
Kevin, what's up? How are you
How
doing?
y'all doing?
Doing good? Dude, let's just start right off. Just ramble on who you are, what you do, where you're from, and just all the cool and pertinent things, and we'll start yapping at you with some questions.
By all means, Kevin Motorola, GM of Creepy Hollow Woods. Some of these people in here have never actually heard my real voice before, so my bad, guys. But this isn't one of those. How are you doing? I'm getting feedback. There we go. This isn't one of those videos where Moto's coming out to play. This is a little bit more official, a little bit more everything else. So, yeah, I'm GM of Creepy Hollow Woods out in Jay, Florida. Known Mike. Man, Mike, how long have I known you now? Like
It's
five,
well, it's
5 years? 4 years?
f-
5?
well, probably 5, 6 or something like that. So, I mean, yeah. So we'll say 5 or 6 years. I'll go ahead and say 5 or 6 years. I think.
Somewhere in there. Yeah, met Mike at a local haunt here in town, and just kind of hit it off. Really enjoyed always talking to Mike about the actual industry as a whole instead of just our individual haunts. Uh, Mike's a smart guy, so of course we hit it off very well discussing haunt related things.
Lord.
I mean, and that's kind of literally all I talk about and all I do. So of course me and Mike became friends there. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got some straight up crown going over here.
There you go.
I got some straight up crown going, having a damn good time.
Keeping
So it's
warm
Hunter's
down there.
Anonymous, like a program I go to twice a month. Willie's the alcoholic. I know some of you guys don't quite keep up with all the online clown stuff, which is also why I asked Mike when he approached me about this. I said, hold on, is this people that are like the douchebags and Honors Hangout that absolutely hate online clowns that I make fun of all the time? He's like, no.
Of course not.
I mean, he could have set me up for a trap, and I would have just, ran right into it.
No. No. It's all integrated. We all make fun of each other, and the deal is, when it's joshing and when it's not. And like I said, with Hunters Anonymous, if it gets too serious or whatever, that's not cool. But thank you for coming on, man. That's awesome. So we know who you are and what you do. Describe Creepy Hollow Woods in Jay, Florida. All the cool things.
Oh boy, all the cool things. All the cool things. So, Creepy Hollow Woods out there in Jay. I found the haunt owner through a friend of a friend, actually, years ago. 2013, I believe it was. Would have been the year I found them through a buddy of mine that I met here in Pensacola in 2008 when I was here in A school. He hit me up because I told him that I'd done haunt stuff in Japan and pretty much most of my life growing up. and he said, "I got someone you need to meet." And he hit me. He told me, he's like, "Hey, he's going to be at my house tonight. Come on over. Here's my address. Blah 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 blah." I get over there, and I show up and meet this little leprechaun looking bastard. And I said, this is the hot owner, and they're like, "Yeah," because like literally my entire life, I grew up in Iowa on farms where most of the haunt owners were these big ass burly dudes. And I was like, this is a haunt owner. It was just weird to me being a big burly bastard myself. And me and that guy hit it off. I showed up out there. This was back when we were only open for 4 days out of the year. It's scraping together pennies to buy plywood to build rooms and tarps and whatever. And the good things, the good times. And we would start working on it like 2 weeks before opening. So it was good times. I said, "What do you need me to do?" And he said, "Oh, I need you to do this, or I have these 2 positions available. Which one do you want?" And I told him, and I actually ended up being the biggest Billy the Puppet from Jigsaw you've ever seen in your life. I was 6'1" Billy the Puppet, like 200 and probably 60, 70 pounds at the time, still in the military. Now I'm fat and old, and yeah. But I did that for him for a couple years, and me and him sat down one time, and he told me how he wanted to grow, and we started talking back and forth, this, that, this, and I brought up the hands-on portion. I'd mentioned there were haunts out there doing that, and I kind of designed something for us based on what I'd read, what I'd seen and researched and everything, what I'd been through even, and so he agreed to let me try it for a night, and it took off like wildfire. We were actually selling more of those tickets than the regular tickets because it was like more or less soft touch, if you think about it, at the time. And then it grew into me and him sitting down after that year saying, "Fuck no, we don't want to tell him what to do to act in the room. Let's make it fucking real." So we, not quite to... one of the he who shall not be named places out there.
Thank you for that.
I know the rules. I know how this works. But it wasn't quite to that extreme. And every year, we sit down and we say, "Hey, we need to make this harder." And finally, it was 2 years ago, and we didn't leave the woods till 3:30 in the morning because just too many damn people, and we only send them in 2 at a time on that experience, the Insanity experience, Night of Insanity. And I said, well, we just got to make it hard enough that people aren't making it. They're quitting. That's what we got to do, and word will travel. And this last year was actually perfect, right in the middle, right where we needed to be. And we always were able to maintain and keep that line rolling, and we were leaving on time every night and everything like that. No 4 a.m. nights this year, so that was great. But other than that, the woods is extremely unique. Myself and the owner, whenever we talk to people, we consider ourselves a bit of a hybrid. A lot of outdoor haunts, mid-level outdoor haunts you go to, it's a trail walk. You walk through the trail. There's guys popping out of the trees. There's some brush to the side. There's some tarp walls for your rooms and stuff like that. And next thing you know, now we have full standing structures with roofs and full power and all these. We augered into the ground, brought power in. We did ditch witching, everything like that we could, and made it as indoory as we could, of course. So it makes it extremely unique in my mind, especially considering we do have a 40-foot vortex tunnel, 20 way, 20-foot spin in the other from Hardcore Fabrications when they were still around. Nate was a great fabricator. It was a shame to see him kind of pushed away from the industry by, well, I'll just say it, douchebags. He was a phenomenal fabricator. Everything has grease certs. Everything he went the extra 10 miles on anything he built for people. And he went to Trans World, he won Booth of the Year, not last year, year before. First year at Trans World, won Booth of the Year. He had all those actual metal weapons, did phenomenal work. And so many people were after him, but he was getting hit up by charity haunts and church haunts like, oh, we're all charity, we should get this for half the price. It's like, well, that's not even the material cost. And they didn't care. They were just being assholes about it. And ultimately he got tired of it. He got ran out of the industry and got burned out on people, unfortunately. So he got to see the dark side of the industry real quick. Real early, unfortunately. But great guy, great fabricator. And other than that, out at the woods, aside from full standing rooms, we do have some of the more expensive stuff out there, Ghost Ride, this, that, Gorgalore, all that kind of fun stuff. So we're kind of starting to branch out from our mid-level area into some, not quite, I wouldn't call it a full-blown premium by any means, but definitely heading that way. And if we get a hold of a decent amount of land, we do fully intend on having 2 to 3 attractions on one piece of property in the future. One day, that would be wonderful. We've gone and looked at property, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
Need to get close. You need to get closer to me. You need to come in like town because you're like way the fuck out there.
Man, we looked at a building, and I'm not going to tell anyone where, but we looked at a building. In all honesty, I wanted to get that building myself as well for another business that we could, flip flop in the off season and not just escape rooms. That's what a lot of haunts use in the off season to make money in the off season for haunt season. I didn't want to just do escape rooms. There's something extreme to the area. Our client base would constantly rotate because we are a military town. Right. So if you can put 2 and 2 together on that, put 2 and 2 together on that. But I would love to move into town. If you look at the numbers of haunts that are in town and do their, proper marketing, proper promotion, they do extremely well. But with moving indoors comes a lot of freaking hassle from the fire marshals and fireproofing, everything, mixing and fireproofing in your paint, this, this, million things you got to do, a million things you got to consider. And then you also limit yourself on your build space, which we don't like. We want to get bigger. That's another big downside.
Well, you talk about like there's only one haunt in the area that I think really does really good marketing. I don't know who the hell else you're talking about, but
I don't know. I mean, it's far that haunt.
Huh?
I don't know what the hell that is.
I don't know. You were taking a big old chug of your alcohol. I don't know what the hell you just said.
Okay. My alcohol and my vape. I'm a vaping clown. Leave me alone. But
damn vaping clowns.
But yeah, I was saying I don't know who the hell runs the marketing for that haunt.
Well, see, I'm talking about Haji.
They do great marketing.
They do, but they're the only one that does it. And I mean, we won't rotate all the damn. But there's really not. See, the deal is there's really not. There's Haji, and then of course Purgatorium on Jackson. Mm-hmm. There's you. Wahoo is gone. Vroom Doom, which I think lasted 30 minutes of one night apparently last year.
Vroom Doom opened out of his garage last year and got more news coverage than any haunt in this area.
Well, yeah,
it kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Well, dude, you know how that goes. It's who you know, and it's how big a mouth you have, and that's really about it. I mean, I was gonna go check it out, but then I literally was like, well, this is like, it's like a home haunt, which is cool, but I'm like, well, so I completely forgot they existed, but that's a whole other level. But we're not here to talk about any of them. I will apologize to James. Jump in, James. You got questions? It's just because I know Kevin.
I'm letting you guys handle this. I'm just keeping up with technical side of things.
Oh my God! All those Russian satellites you have to adjust.
Listen, man, I'm getting bombarded over here.
Yay! Bombarded. I saw dollar boobies, and that made me laugh while I was talking. So Kevin, dude, I mean, you're being really modest because I've been there, but let everybody know. Tell them about the progression. Like, the property you're on right now is pretty damn big. It is way the hell out there. There's no parking. I'm not gonna lie. You could die. Sasquatch could steal your car out where the hell your haunt is. But tell them about the midway y'all started, and you've got the live band and stuff.
So, coming from where we were, which was actually behind the haunt owner's house in Pace years ago, it was pretty cool back there. The woods were not quite as dense, but it was an awesome trail that he had, an awesome design that he had. We had an agreement with someone at the time. It was a verbal agreement, and then that gentleman passed away, and then it became an issue with that gentleman's son, so we had to move off of there. Moved into his backyard, rebuilt it in 3 weeks, opened for the season. Literally, we're putting the last screws in as the first groups were going through. So photo finish. And then we moved out to Jay, to a piece of property out there. We leased a piece of property from a couple out there. Phenomenal people, great people out there. And we had to hack all the woods down. So the year we actually wanted to move in out there, we couldn't due to a rattlesnake infestation. You couldn't walk more than 5 or 10 steps in your snake what the snake pants or whatever the hell I had to wear. We had to wear those when we went out there, and you got struck at like all the time. So it was really bad, and we had to make the decision to stay in the backyard that year. So that's where we did it. And then the next year we moved out and started clearing the land and kind of ran everything out. And we were just killing snakes left and right. It was insane. Then the midway went from a corral, which we built 45 minutes before we opened our first year out there. We separated it into 3 villages out in the woods, and we got everything done, ready to open. And then we were like, oh shit, we don't have a corral in the midway. And people were like standing there like, where do we go? And we were like, hold on. And we started grabbing pallets, and we built up our corral in like 45 minutes or an hour. And we were still sending people in. So another photo finish for Creepy Hollow Woods. But then I've been traveling out to Arx Mortis. I don't know if any of y'all have been there. And I know, Mike, you know Tristan Pierce.
Yeah, I know Tristan very well, and I've been to Arx a couple of times, actually.
Yep, the open midway out there. I talked to Vinny, Rusty, and I talked to Sonny out there. Sonny's their GM out there, and I said, man, I want to bring something like this to Creepy Hollow. We have a huge area, and we're tired of corralling people because we were putting people through as fast as we could, but there were still times people were waiting in line for 3 hours, and we were dropping groups every 45 seconds, if not faster. And we were getting complaints about it, and I understood it. And I said, I don't know what to do, man. And they showed me how it worked with their light system. So we implemented that. People still don't freaking follow it. Oh yeah, that was still a huge hassle this year. People still don't follow it. Then they all funnel to the front. Even when I literally roped off the front, they formed a line around the rope to the front. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? How do you not figure this out? I put a huge vinyl sign out in the midway. Free roaming midway. Do not form a line, or whatever the hell I put on it. Go up with your ticket color, because we did red, yellow, green. We have a traffic light. We had it handy. Got it hooked up. Red, yellow, green tickets. You don't have to go to the front until your damn color's there. We have it timed out. We have it figured out. You just got to let us use it. They weren't going to use it. It was a nightmare.
And I saw you did like a video or two, and you could tell the frustration trying to make people understand it.
Oh yeah, because I still had people cussing me out that they didn't hear or they didn't see their ticket light or their ticket color come up, and I'm like, how? It's literally a huge ass light at the end. How did you not see that? And then there's people that are like, I've been here for 45 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, it's also Saturday night, and there's 400 people in my midway.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do? You come to a haunt. You need to be ready to wait in the line, especially, if it's one of the better known haunts in the area. You're not just going to walk in and walk to the front and be done. That's not how that works. But people couldn't quite figure that out. So I have a new plan in place for this year, still with the free roaming Midway, but we did have a live band out there this year. Coastal Fire was out there most of our nights, unless weather permitted and everything. Coastal Fire was freaking phenomenal. They were great to have out there, great entertainment. Kept people, we had people coming in just to go hang out and watch the band, have a few beers out in the Midway, whatever the case may be. So it was good to know people were entertained while they were waiting. We also did a dunking booth, axe throwing. We had the Last Ride coffin simulator, and we wanted to get our escape rooms done. Ultimately, we just couldn't get them done. We were trying to get plumbing done to our stabbing cabin in the back. Instead of doing all of our makeup out front in the Midway on a couple plastic tables with everything, we built the cabin in the back, which was actually donated to us. It was going to get bulldozed down if we didn't come tear it apart and rebuild it. So we went out there, tore a whole cabin apart, hauled it all out to Creepy Hollow, hauled it all way back in the woods and rebuilt it. That's where we do makeup. That's where we do our cooking. We have TV in there, all that kind of fun stuff. And that's where all of our airbrushing and whatnot takes place. And it's out of the public eye because we open the Midway at 6:00. So makeup, when we open the haunt at dark, 7:30, somewhere in there. But man, it was a hell of a journey. It was a hell of a job to get it all done. And then the actors get to hang out back there in the air conditioning, gives us all a place to go hang out and out of the public eye, relax for a minute when we need a break. Excuse me, shit.
There you go. There it is.
I feel bad.
We'll just have to have you back on Friday for that kind of mess. I'm kidding. So one of the cool things y'all do, I know y'all don't call it this, but I've always thought about this, is Creepy Hollow, y'all do a lot of upcycling here in the area. You've gone to different places like Vroom Doom and stuff like that, but y'all are always constantly looking for places that are closing down. Instead of letting items go out of this town or out of Florida, y'all will throw some money at it and keep it here and actually put it into the haunt, right?
Correct. Yes. So yes, correct, and not quite correct as well. Typically, a lot of these places reach out to us. We do see some stuff on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. Like myself and the owner are always looking, but we also like the Marshall's Menagerie. The big weekend project, or my weekend project, Monday and Tuesday, was taken up going to the Menagerie. They closed their business.
Yeah,
and we got, actually, by the time it was all said and done, they were taking down the price of their inventory prices on everything. It was somewhere around $45,000 of inventory price donated to us in heavy duty costumes. Some of the spirit type costumes, suits, tuxedos, just all kinds of costume items. And they actually reached out to us because we'd talked to them before about literally foam heads. We wanted some foam heads, and we said, hey, can we buy some of these off of you once while we were in there with EJ Dupree doing makeup classes, learning the special effects side of the industry. And they said, oh, well, we don't really sell them because, we obviously show wigs on them, this, that, this. She contacted us and said, hey, we have these foam heads. I know you guys asked about them. And we said, hey, yeah, sure. Well, when can I come get them? She said, oh, you can come get them today. I'm here now. On my way there, she said, we've been trying to liquidate. Anything you want's yours. And I was like, okay, they've already been through liquidation. There's not going to be much there. I showed up there and about shit my pants. So much stuff. I was running around, grabbing as much as I could. They did have Pensacola Little Theater was there. So I was trying to get a hold of haunt related stuff, leaving stuff for them as well, obviously. Right. But I told them, I was like, haunters never let anything go to waste. Ever. We take freaking milk cartons and make skulls, okay? We don't let shit go to waste. And so I rolled in there, and then I had to call my haunt owner. I called Shane. I said, hey, man, do we have any bodies available over at your house? And he said, well, yeah, I got, a couple people, and I got that's about all I got. I was like, cool, I need those people, and I need your trailer, and I need it here now. And 45 minutes later, I had a trailer roll up, and they walked in and said, what in the hell? I just had stacks upon stacks, and we had to return the next day to get even more. It was insanity. But as for Vroom Doom, he also reached out to us. We allowed, he came out and scared with us for our Christmas haunt this year. He'd been a Creepy Hollow attendee before, and he asked me a lot of questions about getting a haunt going, this, that, that, this. I actually took him out there on a random day, and me and him walked through the haunt, and I kind of explained how certain things worked, and literally the magic behind the scenes, if you will. Sleight of hand, how a lot of haunt stuff works. Distract them over here, scare them over here, right? Just kind of teaching the basics of stuff and kind of how simple some of this stuff really is. And he decided he was going to open a pro haunt this year instead of his, I think he said it was 90 square foot in his garage that he had last year. And they donated $1,000 to, I believe it was breast cancer research. So good on him. That's really cool. I don't remember.
Right.
I don't remember his throughput for the year. It's not my business to put that out either. But he was adamant about it, and you could tell he truly cared about it and wanted to do it. And that's what was really cool to me. And I really enjoyed talking to him and trying to help him out as much as I could. So it was kind of almost saddening when he sent me the message saying, "Hey, I have these things. I want to get rid of it all. I'm selling out, and I'm moving." I said, "What?" And he shot me a price, and this included 2 CFX silicone masks, few fog machines, bunch of odds and ends, random little stuff. One of the coolest things I found out of this bunch was a nice DeWalt stapler and a full box of staples. I'm 97% sure that shit's already lost out at Creepy Hollow by now. But I was super happy to find that. I always lose a damn stapler. But it was sad to hear that he was leaving, and it was also due to COVID. And then he was also reading up on Haunters Hangout, and a lot of people were talking about, oh, it's election year and COVID. I'm not going to open because it's election year and because of COVID. So I think that kind of ran him off a little bit, which I got him involved in Haunters Hangout. I told him what it was and told him he could find all kinds of useful information there, especially starting up. And now I'm kind of like, well, did I shoot myself in the foot on that one? Maybe. But he was a good guy. I was kind of ashamed to see him go. Mike, you might remember the old KOA campground.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they did a haunt? It was probably 6-7 years ago, the last time they were open, I think.
Yeah, vaguely. It didn't last very long either, though.
I just remember they offered a hands-on thing. I showed up in Creepy Hollow, my Creepy Hollow shirt, and they were like, "Oh, you're from Creepy Hollow?" I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, we're gonna give you the free upgrade for the hands-on thing." I was like, "Okay." And the hands-on thing was literally, it was actually from a guy that did the shows downtown. What is it, Emerald City? The cross-dressing shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like their main actor. Dude was cool as all hell by all means. He was awesome. And then I find out he was actually a drag queen as well. But that dude walked me through the haunt blindfolded with his arm around me. And I just remember thinking, damn, bro, did you not put on deodorant for at least a week before this shit? But they walked me through, and the little rag thing fell off. So I was like, well, I don't want to ruin this. So I literally closed my eyes. I was like, let me go with this. And they laid me on a mattress and threw flour on me, and then the cornstarch fake blood drizzled it all over me. I was like, what the hell is going on here? And then they threw more flour on me. I was like, holy shit, guys. Well, when they closed down, they hit us up and asked us what we wanted from out there. And me and the owner went out there, and we took like 2 strings of lights and I think a shower. I think that's about their whole scene. That was like their whole scene set up, and maybe some pallets. So I was like, wow, this is what I missed out on when I was blindfolded? Okay.
And the true terror there was trying to clean.
Yeah,
It,
the
no, it
KOA.
ruined my
God.
shirt. My shirt was done. I was like, oh, that's great. So whatever. And then, flour all over the car. So that was a good time. And I had just bought a brand new 2013 F-150 off the lot like 2 days beforehand. And that's what I drove out there.
Gee.
So I was
Yeah, but
pissed.
we definitely have a roundabout of haunts that pop up and then they disappear, and uh, you know, fire marshal will make them disappear and then they'll just disappear on their own. But God, I forgot about KOA. Geez, and of course I don't know if you heard us talking about Fear City Nights. Hate them so much, and I don't care if they're listening, but
Lovely, lovely people.
okay, sure. Uh,
Well, we'll
uh,
put it this way. This was the year we were in Shane's backyard after we got pulled out of the woods. And the same year they got shut down right before opening. We offered it up to them and said, hey, we'd be more than happy to have you guys come haunt with us and scare with us, this, that, this. And we had about 10 or so of them show up. And we'd already had the people that had been with us for years assigned positions and everything. And they all showed up and just went to these rooms and they were like, this is where I'm going to be. We were like, wait, what? And we were like, well, we got this person assigned there. Well, this is my room now. I'm sorry, what? And they were extremely upset that they didn't get like main positions when we'd never even met these people before. So that was part of my run-in with that one.
well, we Jackson Street, the year that they tried to get into the Hallmark school,
Uh-huh.
and they got shut down. We did the same thing, and all they did was go there, look at the haunt, and then try to get the fire marshal to shut the haunt down. That's all they did. They didn't want to. They didn't want to act. They didn't want to do anything. They were just coming there to get inside scoop. And of course that didn't work at all. But so if anybody that knows Fear City Nights is listening in, you can tell them they can go to hell.
Well, there's
Like literally can go to hell.
places just aren't open anymore, man.
Yeah. No. Oh Lord.
I
So,
remember last year there were Facebook posts made by the old owner, and what it was they were trying to tear down Haji without saying the name. Obviously, I mean I wouldn't exactly go talking shit to Shriners either, but he had posts up about, oh, this haunt, they supposedly donate this, that, this, but they're indoor. But when I was indoor, I got shut down. And just literally a crybaby rant is what it was.
oh my God.
And,
I have to go back because I stopped following them. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I was reading it and I'm like, this is literally just wah, 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 bitch, 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 wah. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, so, and then he openly admitted that he had put in complaints and calls and had not heard anything about it. And I'm like, so this dude's literally trying to get haunt shut down just because he can't have one.
That's who you were talking about a night or two ago.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, the hell with him. I can say so many more vulgar things, but that's okay. We'll I'll rag on people on Friday night on After Dark, but I do want to go back to Creepy Hollow, Kevin, because there's one cool thing. I think it's cool as hell, and y'all have done this quite a bit, and that's actually two things. So I lied. It's two things. One, y'all do a food drive, a can drive, and you donate money. Do you not?
So the food drive this year, we did not do the food drive. There were, how do I put this nicely, logistical reasons behind that. When we were 30 pounds shy of breaking the record the year before, the record of Mana Food Bank, and we were told, yeah, and I went and got all the boxes from them, set everything up with them, and they said, yeah, well, after it's over, you call us and we'll come pick everything up. I said, great, thanks, appreciate the help. We completed everything, and we had an ungodly, I think it was like 22, 23 of those boxes full of food. And when we did the math on it, it was actually somewhere in the realm of $36,000 that we just kind of like kissed and threw out the window, given the discount for the $5 discount for the canned good donation, right?
Right.
So the issue became they never came and picked anything up, no matter how many times I called them, and they swore they were on their way out there. They swore they had someone literally driving out there. The haunt owner would be sitting out there all day. No one would show up. The next day he'd be at work. I'd happen to be off. I'd go sit out there all day. No one would show up. And every
Wow.
time they were swearing that someone was on the way. So it came down to one day myself and the haunt owner taking cans out of damn boxes, loading them all onto the trailer, and then putting the cans back in so we could haul it. Because we didn't have the hydraulic lift like they have, obviously. So we take it in, and they were like, "Oh, if you guys would have called us, we would have just come and got it." Because that was kind of the final nail in the coffin to me. I was angry, and then they were even giving us attitude because it was after Thanksgiving, and they wanted it all before Thanksgiving. And I was just like, okay, screw this. I'm done. It's not worth it. And in turn for that, we decided that we would pick up the Santa Rosa Kids House, which they had their funding from United Way pulled. I don't know if you remember the whole situation that went down with money embezzlement and all that kind of fun stuff with United Way out in Milton.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
God.
that lost them $7,000 in donations that they got on a yearly basis from United Way. So we heard about it. My haunt owner Shane called them and said, "Hey, we'll match that. We want to match that because we're literally going to be saving money now that we're not doing the canned food anymore, and we won't be breaking our backs on that again." So we ended up doing $10,000 to them this year. We showed up, gave them the big check. We went and had one printed just for PR purposes, obviously, and still gave them the real check. But they gave us a tour of the facility, explained how it works, and Shane had been over there 2 or 3 times before that, learning as much as he could about it. Which, if you've never learned how the Santa Rosa Kids House works, it's actually a phenomenal process and a phenomenal thing that they do. So we were extremely happy to donate to that. And I believe next year we're actually talking about doing some more. But we also donate to the local high schools. So we have Pace, Milton, and Jay high schools. So these kids that volunteer and come out and work at our haunt, they sign in and we track their hours for them. And so they get their hours towards their programs for their graduation and this and that and that and this, whatever program they might be doing. So they get those hours, and we look at the total amount of hours, and then we actually, believe it or not, I can't call it we're paying them hourly, but we are tracking it hourly and considering that payment hourly. And then that is what those schools get based on the kids that show up, and then we tax some more on. So we donate to individual programs in schools based on who's been out there helping us out and everything like that.
Nice. That's
That's a unique way
awesome.
to do it.
Man, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, I have followed, of course, you know me. I have followed y'all, for several years, and it really is amazing how y'all have evolved and what y'all do give back to the community. That's why I found it very fitting to me to have you be one of the first haunts, basically, to be on Haunters Anonymous, so we can ask you crazy ass questions, because I think it's very cool. And of course, like you said, I've known you for a while. You're extremely intelligent. You know the industry very well. That is a perfect segue into one of the big things that we've been talking about is the uncertainty this year. And I think you're a perfect person to ask this. The uncertainty this year with COVID, and of course the election, that actually is, he called me intelligent, he's lying. Nah, no, I'm telling you, it's true. But so being the GM of Creepy Hollow and Jay, with Sasquatch. Uh,
with Sasquatch.
because I'm telling you, I swear to God, let me segue, or not segue, but I swear to God, just driving to this damn haunt, you're going to get shanked by Sasquatch. That's the beginning of the haunt. That's the free part of the haunt. Anyway,
There you go. That's good.
I'll elaborate more on that in a second.
but no, so as the GM of Creepy Hollow and been doing this for a while, and all the things y'all have been doing, you've been following everything with COVID, you've been following everything in the other groups. It is an election year, and that's about as political as I'm going to get, because it doesn't matter who is running, what's going on. It's every 4 years, and it is a thing. It is a thing in the industry, and other industries probably, but ramble on like I've been doing, Kevin, and give us everything that you think is going to happen. What are y'all doing to maybe get yourself ready for it? Are you going to switch out the crotch to ass bit? This just go, because the crotch to ass. I'm going to actually make a shirt that says that. But so Kevin, dude, I'm going to shut up and just go from A to Z on your take on what's going to happen this year, what y'all are doing to prepare, are you concerned, etc. And go.
So I'll elaborate on the Sasquatch thing real quick before I start my ramble. So what Mike's referring to is, and actually the owner of Scurryface, when we had them come out and do a review on us, I invite a couple teams out every year to do reviews on us so we can learn and advance and get better. But he called it the blackest road ever, because you turn on Temecula Highway, and it is literally a black paved road with absolutely zero lights. And that year we actually had a set of shop lights hanging up on a power pole so people would see the ditch, because they were parking across the street in the field that year. We have to give up that parking every other year for crop rotation. So this last year, everyone was parking on the street, and that sucks. But then you go across the street, across Wade Road, and you start a walk through the woods. It's about a 1/4 mile long, zigging and zagging. It's dimly lit, and you wouldn't believe how many people have called the haunt and said, "Is there another way in?" I won't walk down that. People quit before they even get to the ticket booth. It is just a eerie walk. There's a couple fallen trees. We built some stairs over them, so it kind of sets the mood. It really does. We might have Mike Myers out there hanging out waiting for you. We might have another character or two out there hanging out, working that front area. But that's what Mike's referring to. It's a long snake walk, zigzag walk through the woods, dark as hell.
Yeah, and I'll shut up again. I want to elaborate on 2 things you said so that people understand what the hell we're talking about. 2 words first: crop rotation. If you have a haunt on a street where you have to worry about fucking crop rotation, that's way the fuck out there. That's you know what? Sasquatch isn't out there because he's like, this is bullshit. I'm not going to walk this far to kill anybody. So that's the first thing I want to point out. The second thing I want to point out, when he says woods, and I mean, I had to experience this, when he says that they had to build stairs over the fucking fallen trees so you could get to the damn haunt, I'm telling you, when you have to build stairs over fallen trees because it's so big. So that just gives you exactly where the hell this haunt is. So 2 words: crop rotation and stairs over fallen trees. That's where this haunt is. Okay, and
awesome.
Go. It is. But
and the nearest thing to my haunt is actually a Tom Thumb about 5 miles away. Other than that, it is nothing but freaking fields, all the way from Pace, all the way out there. And
God,
we did have an actor claim he saw a cheetah out there or a jaguar or whatever, and I laughed it off and I said, "Yeah, you're full of shit." Then the next day, someone posted a picture of a fucking huge black cat spotted in Jay, and I was like, he might not have been fucking lying.
yeah, Lord.
But, yeah. As for COVID this year, man, there's so much going on in the industry and so much speculation, and like as you'd mentioned, the election year. I don't I don't dabble in politics either. But I'm not really a huge believer on election year being a thing, considering as we've grown over the period of 4 years. 4 years ago we were still growing, so we haven't really seen a decline per se. I don't believe we will see one this year, so I'm not concerned about that. My biggest concern is when they lift everything, how skittish are the people going to be in getting out in big groups, or are they just going to freaking flounder out there like they're all going to go to the beach? We all know it's going to happen. But how skittish are some people going to be about being in a crowded midway? There's going to be some of those germophobic people that are going to refuse to be out in the midway, and there's going to be complaints this year. I already know that's coming based on the COVID shit. There's going to be people that throw that out there, and it's usually going to be, well, if you give me 2 free tickets, I'll forget about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how that's going to go down. But there's going to be complaints. What myself and the Han owner have talked about is hand sanitizer stations, which we do rent porta shitters, so we can actually get that included in that price. We can get hand sanitizer stations around the midway. But I've seen a lot of people talking about they're going to do the hourly ticket sales to eliminate that many people in the midway. I see issue after issue after issue with that. As anyone who's worked a haunt, Mike, I'm sure you'll agree with me on this. You get a slow group, it fucks up everything. You get a fast group, it fucks up everything. So, and no matter how much you train your actors, there's going to be people that haul ass and there's going to be people that drag their feet. So now, if you get put behind, now those people that paid for their 8 o'clock, I'll call it a tea time, they paid for their 8 o'clock tea time, now they're not going in until 8:30. Now those people that were going in at 8:15 and 8:30, those people are pushed back to 9:30, and now you got more complaints on your hands. So I refuse to really go into that aspect of it. I can do it through Haunt Pay. I still refuse to do it. And I firmly believe, being as I've been doing this was my 25th year, 25th season as a haunt actor, is the midway sets the mood. And the midway is part of what people will always remember at a haunt, no matter what. And then us having live music, the different things going on, it becomes a family atmosphere. Last year, hell, one night we had 5 freaking vendors. I don't even know how that happened. I set up all the vending, and I don't even know how the hell it happened. I watched these trucks pull in, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is this guy? And I went to my haunt owner, I was like, who the hell are these guys? And he's like, oh, this person told them about it, and I guess they came out. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. More food for the customers.
That's cool.
And they were packed out multiple times. Actually, there were trucks that had to pack up and leave because they'd sold out of what they had. So I was very happy with that. That's good. What we wanted, instead of showing the movies, because there was a bunch of issues with haunts, obviously showing some of the big horror movies, and we tried to show Terrifier. And then, of course, you get to what me and my haunt owner call the Cooter Cutter 3000 scene, if you've seen Terrifier.
Yeah.
You get to that scene, and you got a 5-year-old sitting there staring at the screen. And I was like, oh, shit. And I ran over and slammed the laptop screen shut. So we stopped showing the movies because there were a lot of haunts that were starting to get pinged over copyright infringement, this, that, this, showing to the public, not paying for the rights to this, that, this. So understood, and justifiably so. I get it. I understand it. And we stopped doing that. So we said, what can we do? We built a fire pit. I can't say we built it. We stacked a bunch of shit up and lit it on fire. We stacked a bunch of shit up, lit it on fire. The band was brought out, and we had to have some other things. So the dunking booth, which did very well. We have some kids that they're not into the whole acting thing, but they wanted to be out there for their hours, and they wanted to be out there to help us. So we had them taking the money out front for the dunking booth, the last ride coffin simulator, axe throwing, all to keep people entertained. And then I have some of my most senior actors obviously working the midway, keeping everyone entertained. But other than that, the whole COVID thing, I don't foresee it being a massive ordeal with us. Where I see it being a huge deal is some of the bigger haunts, 13th Gate. I've heard you guys mention Halloween Horror Nights. Places like that, I foresee it being a hassle, honestly. I honestly think they might even over exaggerate the safety measures to even make it almost not enjoyable.
Mm.
And there's what was the system I read from another guy one couple nights ago. He talked about doing hourly tickets, and then he was also going to do the damn vibrating things like you get at the freaking restaurants. And he was going to have people like waiting in their cars. And I was like, how does this make sense? How is this anything like a haunt? That just sounds like bullshit to me. I wouldn't pay money to do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But he had this ingenious setup, and I read it on Haunters Hangout. I'd have to go back and find it again. But he had this ingenious setup and this great idea of, yeah, they pull up, they can connect to our Wi-Fi if they need to. They buy their ticket online, and then they'll put down what make and what color their car is, and we'll bring them one of the little things. It's like, wait, what? But you just said it was hourly. But yeah, if they pull up and then they have to call and let us know we're there, and we'll bring it out to them. So then and only then they're allowed to get out of their vehicle and be in the atmosphere of a haunt. Until then, they just have to sit in their cars, bored.
Isn't that what they do at Chick-fil-A?
That's
I'm
it
just kidding.
seems like it. But I mean, I was just like, okay, some people are just taking this to the far extreme, if you ask me. But I'm not going to really change a whole lot in my midway. I will be getting rid of the Mike. I don't know if I sent you the pictures. Like I said, people weren't following the damn instructions last year with the free roaming midway. We had a funnel that went down to like 3 people wide at the front. And I mean, there were nights when we had over 500 people standing in the midway. The Story Face night was one of them. I had guest actors from all over Alabama, in Louisiana, and a few other places that came in for that. And it was just so slammed. You couldn't walk through. You literally could not walk through to the front. For me to get to my haunt owner by walking through the midway was impossible. I had to go through the trees and through the brush just to go talk to the damn man. And I couldn't get people to listen I was like, if you're not going to freaking like break up, at least get in a line. Do something. But you got to leave some shit open. What if there's an emergency and I have to get through?
Right.
All these things. And it's going to come down to cooperation from the customers as well as organization from us. So the way I'm going to beat that this year is there will be a gate, and the ticket colors will be checked, and then they'll be allowed to pass through there and corral back there. And that'll avoid everyone trying to gather up in one location. I don't want people nut to butt. I really do not. That would piss me off if I was a customer. And I had complaints about it last year, and I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Free roaming midway, everyone was allowed to do what they wanted. But y'all chose to bunch up together like geniuses. That's not my problem anymore.
Like I said, I remember the videos you had to do. I mean, y'all were getting. It was I could see the exasperation and trying to stay as civil as possible, but at a certain point, you could tell that people were just not paying attention.
Well, and I was trying to do it when people were like, I was literally telling people as they came in. This is before I was even dressed out for the night. And then there were nights when security was becoming an issue. And yes, we do have off-duty police out there, but I was standing out front as people came from the ticket booth because we cut down on the huge line that was out in the woods by doing the haunt pay stuff. They walk up, got a QR code, boop, boop, good to go, get out of here. Go, hang out in the midway. But I was standing out there like, hey, free roaming midway, go do whatever the hell you want. Do not go to the front and bunch up. Don't do that. And then there were people that said I was rude for telling them what to do. And I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So it was a nightmare all the way around. But this year, I think I have a plan in place that'll fix that. I had to get one of our makeup girls who also works in the ticket booth. She had to come back there, and we called her the master corraller one year because she was giving all the rules briefings, and she got a loud ass voice. and she would just walk out there to the Midway, band playing and all. Hey! And everyone would stop and stare at her, and they would. It was like watching someone herd sheep. It did exactly what she wanted, and I'm like, I've been out here dressed up as a damn clown, screaming at him for 45 minutes. Ain't nobody listening to me. You walk out here and spend 3 minutes, and everyone's in a damn single file, nice and neat line. And that was when things were moving smoothly again. But there were people cutting line and everything else. But I just don't foresee COVID being an overly huge thing this year. It's going to depend on the customers more so than anything. I know most people are over it right now. Most people don't care about it right now. Most people are like, hey, it happened. Wash your damn hands, wash your ass, wash your balls, whatever. And then there's people that are taking it to the extreme. And we're going to get both of those this year at the haunt and at every haunt. Every haunt's going to get that. You're going to get the people that are like, hey, I can finally go out and do some shit. And then you're going to get people that are like, oh, I'm not leaving my house. I won't go to the Midway unless it's just me and my family. And I won't let you touch my credit card to take payment. So we got to figure something out. Like, can I just thank you? You laugh. Those are the questions. I'm a quote unquote essential worker. So I've been getting questions like that. There's people that will not allow you to touch their credit card. And it's like, cool. So how are you going to pay for this? You won't call in your credit card number. You won't let me touch it. Well, I'll just pay later. Oh, hell no, you will not.
Yeah, that's how this works.
God. Oh, Jesus.
So I'm telling you, there's going to be some stupid shit like that happens. Just wait for it, and you're going to hear about it, and I'm going to tell you about it, and you're just going to be like, yeah, you called that shit. It's going to happen, man. The only places I truly see this being a massive actual issue, it's not going to be at places like Creepy Hollow Woods, where we do, on good, our busiest nights, like 1,400 people that night. But if you go to places like 13th Gate and Baton Rouge, you go to some of the bigger haunts out there that are doing 3,000 to 5,000 up to even 6,000 people in a night. That is where it's become a big issue. I think a lot of the customers here, especially in our space, we provide the Midway is big enough. People can space the hell out if they really don't want to be close to people. They can. But, I thought the same thing about people who want to freaking smoke weed. But clearly they couldn't do that away from the Midway either. So I give people too much credit, and it's going to come back and it's going to kick me in the nuts, just like it does every other time I try to give anyone credit. But those big haunts, it's going to affect them. And I think it's going to drop their numbers drastically for the year, just because it's still going to be so fresh in people's minds that they're going to be scared to go out and get into a big group.
Yeah.
I do have a theory. And I ran this by my haunt owner, and I said, hey, man, I have a theory. I want to run it by you. Tell me what you think. And my theory was simple. People are going to be hurting financially, right? So people are going to be hurting financially, and they're going to want to get the hell out of their house. And I said, even if we can't open in end of September and October, and say this shit doesn't lift until early November, why don't we throw a blowout event on one of those weekends? Everyone's going to want to get their haunt on because everyone missed it for the year. It's going to be a busy ass weekend, but I'm dead convinced that people will want to get out, want to do something, want to forget what's going on and what has just been going on, even though they're hurting financially. And I was like, we can offer discount. We can drop our prices because we're going to put enough people through that weekend that we're going to be fine. It's just for us to donate. That's, we donate what we can donate. It's that simple.
Right.
We did what we could. And then there's our Christmas event. We were like, well, if we can't open then, we can just wait till Christmas, have our Christmas event and be good. But man, the fallout from COVID and the mentality of some of the, how can I put this lightly, some of the snowflakes out there is going to be effective. It's going to affect the industry for the next couple of years. That I can almost guarantee. There's going to be a decrease in numbers from this year. Next year, it'll increase a little bit. Maybe 3 to 4 years from now, people will start seeing their regular numbers again. It's unfortunate.
I think you're right about that too. It's gonna be a long, drawn out thing. It's gonna be an issue for some small people, and it sucks because there wasn't enough as it is. Like creativity wise, the groups are just getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, it's gonna some of the little guys, some of the smaller haunts, and I don't know if you've been keeping up with the vendors from that didn't get to make it to Transworld this year.
Yeah.
There's vendors that have had to shut their doors at least temporarily. There were vendors that had already paid over 10 grand in freight fees to get their shit to Transworld to not sell anything and have to turn around and try to come up with 10 grand to freight it back.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were obviously 10 grand is to the extreme on some of these vendors, but you get what I'm saying. People were paying money to do this show and their booth and everything else, and then nothing coming in from it and no orders. And of course, everyone's like, oh, well, now my haunt budget just opened up. What bigger items can I get? And, I've even talked to Kevin Alvey. We have a couple items on order from him from Gore Galore. Poor Kevin's had to let go what he claims is his best crew that he's had in years, all but like 3 people, and that's just because no one's ordering. Everyone's holding on to their money because, well, there's people out of work, so obviously people are holding on to their money. But man, it's rough right now. It's going to be rough for at least the next year, and then the industry will kind of start getting back on track. But as of right now, it's going to be rough, and some of the bigger haunts are really going to feel the heat. But I think it's going to be 3 years plus before people start seeing regular numbers and then growth. Like, I don't know if I ever explained to you my 5-year swing, my 5-year pendulum that I've noticed over 25 years.
No, huh?
Okay, so the haunt industry before all this is what I was considering was on its 5-year upswing. And then it swings back down, just like a pendulum on a clock. So there were all these small haunts popping up. Some stayed open, some were succeeding, and some were failing. But there were more and more of these popping up. Hell, Pensacola, you used to go into the Spirit Halloween store, and I always tried to be the first one up there. Creepy Hollow Woods, bam! First flyer in Spirit Halloween. I was always there on opening day. I go in and I donate to the kids hospital, children's hospital, and I donate on behalf of Creepy Hollow and on behalf of myself. I get my new wristband for the year, and this is every year I do this. And I throw up our new flyer for the year. Well, I mean, there's always more haunts, and there's haunts that you see up there. You're like, where the hell did you come from? Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
You get up there during, near October, like 15th to the 20th, somewhere halfway through October, and you're like, when the hell did we get 30 haunts in Pensacola?
And where the hell are the places they're talking about? I mean, I had to Google Map like so many places, and I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going to that part of town. Nope. No, thank you.
I mean, and that's when I'm like, man, it is definitely on the upswing, because just even a few years ago, you only saw the main haunts in Pensacola posted up in there. There weren't a ton of random ass haunts.
Yeah. Well, and you're right, but I think what I noticed on Jackson was you had people that came through the haunt and were like, holy crap, there's a lot of people and they're making bank. And then the next year, you had a slew of people that, like you said, pop-up haunts. Well, I'm going to do a haunt like, I don't know, in the back of this BP station or whatever. And you're like, no, you can't do that. And, fortunately, quote unquote, the fire marshal was pretty up on it, because sometimes he got told. But but it was, it's places where you're like, that's too dangerous. There's no way. But you're right. And like I said, I'm sure this happens everywhere. But I noticed, like I said, folks going to Creepy Hollow, people going to Haji, people going to Purgatorium. all they saw was like a ton of people going through and money exchanging hands, and like, well, I can do that next year. And that ran rampant for a couple of years.
Yep.
So I mean, it was rampant. So
I talk to people all the time. I actually had this conversation with a coworker of mine, about 4 or 5 days ago, and he has a piece of property out in Panama City, and he said, "Man," he's like, "it can't be that hard. I'm gonna open one this year." And I was like, "Yeah," and I just started throwing random questions at him, and I was like, "Yeah, so what type of property is it? Is it wooded?" He's like, "Nah, it's just a flat piece of property, just grass." I'm like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do for walls?" He's like, "Plywood," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna go pay that much per sheet for plywood? How are you gonna build that up?" And I just started poking holes in his story. And I was like, cool. So right now we're sitting up here and you're already about 15 grand in debt in this business of yours. And you don't even have any paint, any props. And you might have like a 8-minute walkthrough, maybe.
Yeah.
On a slow walk. I was like, so what are you going to charge for this? He's like, oh, $20. I was like, ain't nobody going to pay $20 for 8 minutes and, not even reach climax. So
oh my God.
Bud.
Kevin, doesn't that just totally sound like a haunt that was downtown for a few years?
It totally does. Full of static props and bullshittery.
And $25.
Hell.
Oh my God.
8-minute haunts. And I know.
Well, this was like a
rather large place that charges way more than that.
I mean, I get it, and Tyler from Scurryface actually has a great system in place for that. $1 a minute. He calls it bang for the buck, and that's honestly, I think that's a phenomenal way to do it. If you got a 20-minute hunt, yeah, sure, $20, but go from there. But I mean, I was talking to him about it, and he was literally drawing me up a map based on his little piece of property on what he would do, and I was like, cool. So a 4x8 piece of plywood. You're going to have to put it, obviously, the 8-foot tall way. Otherwise, people are going to see right over the top of it, and you don't have much of a maze or anything. So you're going to do this, and if we measure this out, and I broke it all down to him, I was like, you're 15 grand in debt, bud, and you have no paint. You're just going to run them through plain plywood? He's like, why not? I was just like, this is not a good fucking start. And he's like, well, if you think about it, he's like, if I do that the first year, I'll have money for the next year. I was like, yeah, but here's the thing. You're going to burn your name the first year and nobody's going to freaking come back ever. And I gave him the prime example. Mike, you remember the rap group that tried
Yes, sorry, what was the rest of what you I know what you're talking about.
The Purge haunted house. And I did it the 3rd, 5th of July. They contacted me, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a total smartass. And I was like, I gave them my booking rate for like when I do my travel haunting, and the guy openly told me, he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna make back way more than that. That's fine, I got you covered. And he paid me for all 3 nights the first night, and I was like, cool. The last night, I literally walked out, handed him all of his money except for a $10 bill, and I was like, that's just for gas. Because I counted. I literally did a head count myself through the entire 3-day period. Anyone want to gander at what that might have been? I think I told it to you at one point, the exact number.
Yeah, I won't say, but somebody, James, you want to make a bet? You may want to make a number. Or, yeah.
I don't even have a guess, man.
Man, okay, let me just put it to you this way. This wasn't even enough to really not to sound cocky or anything, but to afford me for a night type of thing for the full weekend, full 3 days. And my rates are not much, especially since they were local. And no, Tara, it was not even 150. Hell no, it wasn't even close to 150. You gave them way too much credit. Well, the issue became they said the same thing to me when I talked to them about it the first day, and they were walking me around, and they were so proud of what they built. And they take me into the first room, and I'm like, okay. They play a little purge scene. Okay, cool. That's not bad. You walk down a hallway where the walls are covered in plastic bags. Okay, whatever, cool. You go through a little twisty turny thingy, and then it drops you out in this huge open bay. Think of a gymnasium, literally. And they were pumping it full of fog. There's no trail, no marked trail, but there's 3 plywood rooms. One off to your left, one off to your right in the center, call it like right underneath where the basketball hoop would be, and then one all the way in the back corner. No trail. So you had a guide take you through. You walk in there, plain plywood rooms, and they would like scream at you, and then they'd walk you to the next one, and then the next one.
That's the same. It's the same folks that did Pennywise and Friends. It's the same people, and they tried to do that in the old Piccadilly restaurant. Oh my God, that was just sad.
Well, they also tried to sell me all their plywood and their 2 fog machines and their like streamers and shit they hung up. They tried to pawn it all off on me that night, and the guy was like, "I'll take $7,000 for it," and I'm like, okay, buddy, hell. I'm not gonna lie though, some of the actors were actually pretty good. They were pretty cool, and I offered some of them positions out in Creepy Hollow. But of course, with where we're located, you can imagine how that conversation went.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure if James knows that much about our local area.
I know a little bit about that area. I was Central Florida, so Panhandle's a little. I'm from the Florida Man region.
Okay. Well, Jay is known for having their last like lynching within my lifetime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and of course, like I said, it was a rap group. I was literally the only white guy, the white actor there. And I offered some of them, hey, I got a spot out there just for you if you want to come out there. You guys were, you were great. You were awesome. I can work with you. Come on out and let's work with you. And did you enjoy it? You had fun, right? Yeah, let's get you out here and get you going again. And they were all like, out in Jay? Hell no. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I can't argue. But man, yeah, there's tons of haunts that pop up around Pensacola, and I do not foresee that with the current economy, where it's going to be come October. But then again, as much as I hate to say any type of any little bit of politics, if this whole $2,000 a month for 6 months pops up, there might be some people that try some stupid shit.
Well, and Kevin, man, you're right. And honestly, there's a sad part to this. A lot of people that have lost jobs, they may be thinking like, well, I've seen these places, these haunts, same thing, make money. Maybe I can do one at my house and charge money. So I think that actually, now that you've brought that up, that's very interesting because I didn't think about that. There might be, and it's an unfortunate and sad desperation that will end up causing them to lose more money.
God forbid if they get a lawsuit.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, the haunt that was out there in Jay, what they call themselves? They were only open for 2 years, and they actually had some really cool shit out there.
That's not the one that had the little Boy Scouts running it, was it? No, that was Milton.
Yeah, that was out in Milton. This was the TNT Trail of Fear is what these guys were called.
Oh, yeah.
They were, and the owner over there, he's cool as shit. We let him come over to our haunt because we opened long before they did. We let him come over to our haunt and hand out flyers and promote his haunt. He was only 2 miles away. My thought was simple. It's like, oh, hey, so check. Scary faces in there talking shit. But I said, oh, hey, we're bringing out a lot of people. And, Tyler actually said it best. If you can bring 1,000 freaking people out to Jay, Florida, you're doing something right. You're doing something well. And we thought, hey, we're pushing a lot of business towards them. And we did. I'm not quite sure what happened, but the money wasn't quite there for them, and they decided that last year was their last year. And
that sucks. I didn't know that.
They shut down as well. So there's 2 haunts, and he decided that before all the COVID stuff.
Right.
But, you know, that's 2 haunts right there that are shut down, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's kind of sad because I didn't get a chance to go to TNT, and I was going to try this year, before all the COVID crap started. But, wow, gosh.
Oh man, he had a damn like a bean head. You ever seen a bean head on
A beam head on what?
A bean head on a combine. I'm Iowa farm boy. I know farm shit, but you might not. It's one of the it's a combine head, and it was running and spinning and all that stuff. They would start it up when people started walking, relatively near it, just to give him a little fright, and he'd turn on the lights. So he utilized big equipment out there.
Oh wow. Huh.
So it was really cool. And my haunt owner goes out there and he's showing him all this shit, and he says, "Man, I would be hauling ass at these people and slamming on the brakes." That's why we don't have a fucking combine, bro. This is why we can't have nice things. My haunt owner's crazy. He's cool as shit, and he's smart as shit. He can build anything at all. But he's crazy bastard.
I will say something. I'll go back to y'all talking about the bonfires. The first time I went out there and y'all had that bonfire, the first thing I thought, because it was such a big fire, was that y'all had like burnt half the haunt down. I'm like, oh, they just set the haunt on fire. That's great. Okay, well, okay. But yeah, that was a big ass bonfire. But uh-oh, my Facebook just exploded. So James, what you got any questions for Kevin? I know y'all haven't really met, but you got any questions for him?
I'm good. I'm just taking it all in, listening to the stories you guys have. You kind of missed out on the 13 skeletons. I'm just letting you run with this one, and I'm good with just just listening.
Well, that's because I'm an idiot.
Well, you've got the local area, so
Yeah, I'm
up in PA, so
I know. So what we're supposed to ask you about your amazing vortex tunnel. We did talk about it a while ago.
Scaryface can blow me. He thinks that vortex tunnelers are one of like the most overrated things in existence. And it's one of those things that just needs to go away. And it was funny as shit because the year we bought that, we were so excited, and we drove all the way to 7 hours away, somewhere in frickin' Louisiana. And we bought a bunch of shit from Evil Vision's haunted house as well while we were there. We never travel somewhere without buying other shit too. We're always looking. So we go out there, we bought an actor lift and a bunch of random, actually our last ride coffin simulator and a bunch of random shit. So we drove back with like 6 coffins, vortex tunnel, actor lift, and all this shit from 7 hours away in Louisiana. And we were so excited. We got it built and we got everything leveled and everything. Tyler and the Scurry 3 show goes on, and that they're talking about what do you think super overrated and needs to just go away? And Tyler says vortex tunnels, and I said, son of a bitch.
Well, I say the same thing about the airbag walls. Those are nasty.
Yeah, I'm not about the airbag wall. Unhygienic and
I don't think we're gonna put ours out this year.
Yeah,
we have one. We definitely do, and we built it ourselves. A lot of stuff. Like I said, man, my haunt owner's smart as shit. He figures he can build the pneumatic props and all that kind of fun stuff. He works with pneumatic living, so he can literally if we go to Transworld. And it's so shitty to say it like this, but he can literally like pull up, we'll say the dress or the costume of a prop and be like, "Oh yeah, okay, that's easy," and throw it down. Done with it. Will he remember it? Hell no, he won't remember it. Dude's got the damn memory of a goldfish. But the fact that he can look at it and full on draw and like explain to me how it works, it blows my mind. And he'll tell you exactly what pistons he needs, exactly what how to set the boot box, this, that, this. He's smart. He just got the damn memory of a goldfish. But he built our own black vagina walls, and it did great, except for with our insanity experience. We had a lot of people complaining because someone puked in it, and we didn't know that.
Ew,
Oh.
ew, gross.
We did not
Gross.
know that, and it was in a room right after a room I was covering, which had stinky cheese from Froggy Fog in it. And that room was it was rancid. I had to throw away my costume after that because I just wore that costume in there every night, and it was so rancid and terrible. But yeah, someone had puked in there, and I didn't know that because I walked out of my room with the stinky cheese and just barfed all up in it. And I had one of the Midway actors at the time, because I was covering this room. He come back, he says, "Hey man, you need to like hose out the bags or something." And I'm like, "I need to what?" And he's like, "Dude, you got like 5 piles of puke on the other side of it." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I go out front, and someone's asking for management, so I walk out front, and there's a lady complaining that she's got puke all over her. And I'm like, "Oh shit." And I started piecing it together. So I unplugged the blowers, and yeah, lo and freaking behold, there's just strings and streams of puke running down the bags,
Nice.
and I'm like, son of a bitch. So I had to I unplugged them for the night and just washed them down, took them down and washed them, and it was a fucking mess, literally. It was disgusting, but it was hilarious all at the same time to me.
Oh God, that just reinforced everything I swear to God I hate about those damn things. Cause
and they smell like straight shit by the end of the season.
Yeah, dude. You walk behind somebody sweaty, just fucking sliding through. I can't.
I did it. Oh God, now I'm just. Oh my God, just. Oh, I was telling him, Kevin, a couple of things ago about those walls in Louisiana. Oh my God. I had to tell a bunch of people who'd never been to anything like that before how you hold your hands in front of you. Don't let the damn things touch you. Don't let them touch your face. Oh my God. Now I'm just thinking, all I can think of now is the perspective of the person who is puking. Like,
I think it's hilarious.
Just like a chain of people. The first person does it.
It is.
Everyone else just fucking.
It's funny, but ew, God Almighty, ew,
onions and ass. Oh.
Yeah, pretty much. It would. Oh God, this is just okay. Let's go back to Sasquatch because this is freaking me out.
Hey, you want to come walk through my black vagina?
Oh God. Lord, now I can't even think what the hell I'm at. That was so nasty. I'm like literally just blah. And I actually had a question. Poop. God damn it. Now God, now I can think about it. It's like puke, vagina walls. Gross.
I think it's glorious.
A 5'6" Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, he's a
anybody that's well, most people that are watching now pretty much know what Scurry Face is, but go and check out Scurry Face. Very cool group of people. Obviously Kevin knows who they are and vice versa.
Yeah, if you've got a link, you can put it in there.
Yeah, jam a link in there, Scurry Face, because I am on my couch. I'm too lazy, and yeah, we'll probably have you on here at some point, because that's what we're trying to do is just get random cool people on here. Obviously, Kevin will never be back here because he's talking about people puking on plastic walls. Gross. I'm kidding.
I'll bring it up every time.
Man, oh God, what the hell was I going to ask you now? I can't remember. Oh my God, my brain is fried. Like my brain is actually fried out from the thought of puking. I'm not even. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I'm literally now. I can't. I'm gonna have to eat a mint or something. Oh God. Lord. What the hell else was I gonna ask you? Real quick too. Kevin, talk about. I mean, you don't just do Creepy Hollow and all that kind of stuff. You actually do go abroad. You actually will go and volunteer, like at Arx Mortis and stuff, which is pretty cool. What all places have you been to?
Oh God. So I've worked at a few haunts back in the Midwest since since 2012 when I transferred back to the United States. My first year here, I didn't know anything about about Creepy Hollow Woods. I didn't know anything about the haunt scene in this area. The only thing I wanted to find when I instantly got back was a motocross track, and I found one, and it was the only damn one I knew about, and that was the only place I went. 2-3 days out of the week, I was at the damn track. So I traveled back home to the Midwest and took leave during the October time, and worked with quite a few of the smaller haunts in the area. I just kind of went from one to the other, to the other, to the other. Just had a good time, and then Mystery Manor is a really old haunt in Omaha, Nebraska. Worked there when I first turned 16 years old, and my mom actually surprised me and drove me out there for an audition. And I showed up there, and I was 16, and I was just kind of starting to bulk up and get a little bit bigger and everything. And they put me in the insane asylum, literally, because you came down a 3-story slide, and you were in the insane asylum with like dog kennel fences on each side. So my job was to jump from fence to fence across the way and over people coming out of the slide. By the end of the night, I'd be like hanging upside down and like screaming at people, and it was a good time. And then I kind of moved up from there over the years. At 18, I moved out went into the military and everything. But I went back there, did some work there, and then a lot of the smaller mom and pop haunts. The one that I actually started out at 7 years old, they had unfortunately shut down. The farmer was a little too old, couldn't keep up anymore. And I actually asked him, I was like, hey man, you still got your shit? He's like, yeah. I was like, why don't we get the high school kids out here, get the football team out here, let's build this shit. And he was like, well, I could donate to the football team. And he put it out there, and not one of them wanted to come, because that was when gaming was just taking over too much and no one wanted to do shit.
Uh-huh.
So I did a few haunts in the Midwest. Around here, I kind of keep my traveling small in this area. So I work with the Purgatorium whenever I can. I've done a couple small local haunts here and there. I've done a couple small bookings here and there at different businesses here in town. I occasionally go out to gallery night. Other than that, I go to like Nightmare at 3008 in Fultondale, Alabama. I go out to the Fright Guys Harvest in Scottsboro, Alabama. I go out to Arx Mortis in Killen, Alabama. So pretty much no matter where the hell I'm going, I'm traveling a good distance. Pretty much minimum 3 hours to get anywhere I'm going. I was actually going to go do some work with Tristan over there in Jacksonville when he had the zombie apocalypse or zombie apocalypse or whatever the hell it was called, the laser tag thing. I unfortunately didn't end up making it. I had started a new job at that point, and I was unable to take that weekend. So that was going to be a cool one for me. Tristan's moved on. He's now over there in the Pigeon Forge area. But
yeah, he didn't stay out, because I was looking forward to going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was looking forward to going to Jacksonville to see him there, and then I saw, well, he's already moved again. I'm like, okay.
We went. It was 2 weeks before his move. We went, myself, the haunt owner, one of my other actors, haunt owner's girlfriend. We all went, and Tristan gave us a tour of the haunt. Man, that place, it was freaking insane. It was kind of weird to see how a corporate haunt worked.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I will say is, damn, it must be nice to have corporate money.
No kidding. God.
But to learn that they actually build all their sets and their scenes out of their warehouse in Texas, and then they ship full freaking haunts to the site that they've purchased, it kind of blew my mind a little bit. So it was really cool to learn how that worked. Tristan had a pretty badass haunt going on there. It was pretty cool. I would have loved to have gone out there and worked with him, but I'll be seeing him if CreepyCon goes on. I went to the same haunt actually last year, so I'll be seeing him out there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I haven't actually. I see him online, talked to him. I haven't actually seen him in a couple of years, but I'm glad he's doing well, doing what he wants to do. So maybe he'll stay up. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was saying,
No worries.
I was super proud of Tristan. If you've ever seen the documentary from Arx Mortis, have you seen that yet?
I have. I talked about that a night or two ago.
Family of Fear on Prime.
Yeah.
You get to see a younger version of Tristan, and Tristan kind of tell you how he came into the industry, and then to see where he's at now. It's actually pretty inspiring. Super proud of him. Glad he gets to do what he loves. The entire Arx crew's proud of him. I know he was so scared to tell everyone that he was going to be leaving Arx and moving on to something else. But man, they're all so supportive of him. Those guys are the true meaning of Haunt Family is literally, I'll tell you, it's at Arx Mortis. It's so welcoming. They're phenomenal people.
And it's a great haunt. I will go ahead and quickly fill you in case you go back to any of the other lives that we had. I talked about watching that, and I watched it actually a few nights ago. I've been trying to catch up with stuff. It was cool to see the haunt again. The only thing with that, and I understand why they did it. The only thing with that little documentary was, to me, it went too much in depth with the folks and the past issues, not making light of it, not saying it's not important. I think I would have liked to have done more summaries. It just, to me, it was a downer. I mean, I felt bad for all those folks. But it was kind of, the whole documentary was kind of a downer. And it sounds terrible. But it was cool to see what had happened. I did not know that they had a really bad year or a couple. I guess it's just, by the time I was done watching it, I was like, my God, that was sad. And I'm not being mean. I was like, God, that was sad. But I went to Arx Mortis several times, and I actually loved it. I was even there one time when the fog machine set off the alarms. We all had to leave. It was kind of funny. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, if you talk to Stephen Lackey, he was there was another gentleman. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, unfortunately, but they were the ones that shot the documentary, and they were there for MBV when I went, not last year, not the year before that. So it had been 3 years ago I was there. They were there shooting, doing interviews and stuff. The big thing was everyone knows Haunt or Art of the Scare, whatever the hell it's called. That fucking terrible.
Oh God,
yeah.
That terrible movie. The one person, He Who Shall Not Be Named documentary.
Yeah.
So, me and him talked about this at CreepyCon last year, and I approached him with some other ideas of some other stuff, and the more me and him talked about it, the more it became, they wanted to get the blood, sweat, and tears behind the scenes. They wanted the drama. They wanted to see it's not all, rainbow farts and sunshine and, screams and crying and the good times. So I totally understood where he was coming from. Do I think he might have gone a little more than he should have? Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, I still said, man, you caught it. You got the background on these kids, these characters, and it showed the true meaning of Haunt Family and everyone coming together, and then bringing it all together at the end of the film, showing the Haunt Family. Everyone, everyone's in tears, everyone's sad, the season's over. As every haunter is a sigh of relief at the end of the season. Holy shit, it's over. Holy shit, I get to sleep in. And then the next week, you're all saying, "Fuck, what are we gonna do? When can we open again?" You're back at it, and that's what defines you as a haunter. But the Haunt Family aspect of that film is what I see more so than the drama behind the scenes and everything. But it's good to see the drama, and people outside of our industry, they truly don't understand the issues that some of these actors have. And, yes, we dress funny, we dress scary. And, some people say, why don't you get a real job? Some people don't understand why we do what we do. I do it. My starting story is actually fucking hilarious. But you see by some of these people, it's an escape for them. It's an escape from reality. Some people are extremely depressed. Some people, have had suicidal tendencies, this, that. And the haunt industry is an escape for them. And that's, I think, it was the main point of it, is they had a safe place to go. where there's no judgment and all that kind of fun stuff. And that's the same thing we've tried to create, the same atmosphere we've tried to create within Scurryface to keep all of our entertainers. You know, I'm the chief operating officer of Scurryface. Tyler out there is the owner, and we keep that same mentality, family mentality, all the way through. But the cool part is, it's not everyone coming together once a year for a month. It's every single day for us, which is really what's awesome to me. But I think if they would have gotten a little more in depth on the actual haunt side of things, and more into the industry specific, more specific things in the industry, maybe it might have been a little bit better. But I think it was great the way it was. But myself and Tyler and others, we've talked about, why don't we just redo the damn Art of the Scare shit film that was, which was, let's face it, it was a fucking disaster. And it was literally like 5 people who knew the person shooting and had a hookup. It was just a big promotion campaign.
That one, yes. It was also extremely disrespectful to all of the other real haunters that exist globally. It was just an absolute, to me, just incredibly disrespectful. Because you had like little blur, haunted overload, boop, and it was like all the little the other haunts that they put on there, the few they did, it was literally just their reaction to He Who Shall Not Be Named. It was extremely disrespectful. I mean, I think it should just be taken, not even be able to watch it. But with the Arx Mortis one, I totally, you're right, and that's industry wide. There's a lot of people like that. I would have liked to have seen maybe a bit more levity, show the story, but then show how much fun they're having. But it was more like, I'm going to do this because I want to let out my anger. And unfortunately, and like I said, I'm not trying to be mean, but this is what I got from it. It's like, these are my issues, and I very much felt for these people, and I do this because I need to release my anger. Yes, I have the haunt family, but I just want to go and literally just release my anger out on patrons. That's what I did not quite like, because that's not what a haunt is. And if you watch it again in that perspective, I think you'll see it. It's like every one of them was just like, I'm doing this because I like these people that I work with, most of them, but I really just want to release all my anger off all these people that paid all this money to come here. I just didn't quite, I wasn't fond of that, because that, to me, that was not a representation. If that's why you're at a haunt, don't be at a haunt. Don't do it. Find some other avenue to try and work out, the very sad issues that you have. Like I said, I'm not downplaying them, but that's what, if I didn't know anything about the industry and I watched that, I'd be like, well, fuck this. I'm not going to these places. If these people are just going to, I'm paying money for these people to release their anger on me. No.
Yeah.
No, I'll go. No.
If you're an asshole and you act like an asshole, you're not, I mean, there's no difference in character. You're just being an asshole to people. So it's,
I feel attacked right now.
yeah, but
don't feel attacked.
It's okay to be an asshole, but if, like you said, if you're doing it because you have these like deep-seated issues, and that's the way that you get off on just being that asshole because you're so pent up, then there's no acting involved. It's just literally being that asshole.
Yeah, and there's, to me, a distinction.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mean, the thing is, the way I see it, and this is something I even tell my actors during actor training and whatnot, I say, hey, y'all ever had one of those just shitty weeks where you just want to punch a damn wall or headbutt your sister or something? They're like, yeah. I'm like, cool. People are paying you to be as active as you can, be as vocal as you can, turn that into energy for your performance. The way I do word it is, I want that turned into your performance. I don't say just unleash hell on them. There's only one actor at my haunt that I tell that to, and that's when we have the mask scene back, which I'm going back this year. I still haven't decided. We have a spot built for him, but we're not sure. And he is just that, a madman, and you have to be in shape. We've had CrossFitters there and we've had 2 or 3 of them that have had to rotate throughout the night because we give them buckets and everything else, and their job is to literally throw shit at the fence and just go absolutely berserk until the group is gone. It's that simple. So that's the only person you will ever hear me walk up to and be like, everything you got, unleash hell on them. That's the only time you'll ever hear me say that. Everyone else, it's like, hey, remember, maintain 60 to 70%. Thank you, Alan Hops, for teaching that.
Well, yeah, there's like, I mean, it's cathartic for sure. It's, if your only reason for doing it, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's like, if your only reason to do it, just because you want to be an asshole, then it's a little different than you're like, your character that you developed is an asshole. So you can like, well,
sorry.
That's the gist of it, right? Like, I mean, I've only seen a little bit because I just like, I just recently found out about like your whole, setup and everything. So I'm still just kind of gathering things myself. So
I unfortunately missed, like most guys said, my internet cut out temporarily and for about 20 seconds.
Well, like for me, when I was doing it, I'm like a reserved person, so it's nice for me to be able to like break that shell and do something that I wouldn't do on a daily basis. So
fair enough. I mean, and I always have, this is just going to sound cocky or whatever, but I mean, coming from a small town, I was the football captain, wrestling captain, this, this. I was a young motocross prodigy going up. I was kind of always in the spotlight one way or another. And then the first time I was ever put in a haunt, I didn't know what the hell to do. The guy that owned the haunt named Kerry said, I want you to stand in this corner right here. And I was actually a little fucking weird looking elf thing, or like a gnome or some shit. I don't know what I was. I just know the mask was so damn big. I literally had to hold the chin so I could see through the tiny ass eyes that were like 6 inches away from my eyes. That was back when Hobby Lobby was the Spirit Halloween. And that was my first scene. And within like 3 years, I'm doing some of the main scenes in that little tiny haunt. And then I'm a chainsaw guy out front messing with people in the snow and everything. Hell yeah, it snowed in Iowa during October when I was younger. Now it doesn't. But, I've always been that way. And then it's just, I don't really change a whole lot. I tell people a lot of times, I throw a mask on, I drop my voice, and my character is born. There you go. It's that simple. It's no different than me. I'm a smart ass. I'm an asshole. And, the joke is this year we got some cash registers from Marshall's Menagerie. I said, I'm going to put one of these out here in the Midway, and I'm going to put insults $2. And that's all I do. I walk around the Midway just talking shit to people. I have a little handheld black light that I carry in my pocket, and people will be talking shit, and I'll just be like, you want to know a fun fact? And I'll find a piece of white or something neon on their clothes. Shoelaces are always an easy go-to, honestly. Point that light at their shoelaces, be like, yeah, your shoelaces shine brighter than your future, and walk away from them. I just talk shit. It's what I do, and that's what I'm known for. So for me to be able to do it and people enjoy it and have fun with it, and believe it or not, people don't always like me out of costume, but I can throw a mask on and all of a sudden the same people that hate me out of costume love me in costume. It's fucking weird how it works. So I don't even know. It's really hard to explain how that works. Yeah, and Cotton's right. I don't have a filter. I've filtered myself a little bit tonight. I'll save the unfiltered for a Friday night.
Yeah, the Friday night ones they're all full send.
Y'all that's enough to know most of us ain't got a filter.
I know I don't have a filter. I filter myself constantly, and that still doesn't work. But yeah, dude, definitely the Friday nights are going to be. That's why they're going to be Hunters Anonymous After Dark, just like the group. Uh, and I think that would be the absolute most hilarious, awesome time to bring your alternate persona. Um, that would that would be a hoot. God, that would be a hoot.
That'd be dangerous.
Well, that's fine. That's what the After Dark's for. I mean, we're gonna have disclaimers, but dude, yeah, man. James and I, we talked about it a little bit earlier about, we definitely can ramble for hours, 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 and we're going to try to keep this one about 2 hours or under. I want to throw out to the audience, if you have any quick questions for Kevin. I guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, because I know him and he's a fantastic fella, that he will be back on here as himself now and as his persona, also persona later. Does anybody have any questions for him? I think you all know him enough that you probably don't have any questions. But James, do you have any other questions for Kevin?
I don't really have any questions, but I do want to thank you for coming on and revealing some information. And
I appreciate
it's good to have a good conversation, especially I can just sit back and listen to it because I don't have that dynamic that you two have had. So
well,
it was informative for me, as I'm sure as it was for everybody that was listening. So it was
yes, and I even learned some stuff. And then what I want to pass on to you, Kevin, is where I live, what town I'm in. If I can help you in any way with what's going on with Creepy, keep in touch. Thank you so much, just like James said, for coming on, imparting out some actually fantastic knowledge. Thank you for being the first haunt that we've had on Haunters Anonymous. That's brilliant, and I very much appreciate it, as always.
I definitely appreciate you guys having me on, man. It was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, I had a damn good time.
Well, thank you, and you're a good fella, and you're smarter than you think. So I'll leave it at that.
You ain't got
but dude, yeah, get a hold of me. I'm sure I'll talk to you next couple of days. If you need anything, holler. But what we'll do is we'll say goodnight to you. I'll have James start winding us down. Thank you to everybody that showed up, Scurryface and the slew of folks that were here.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. I'm sure y'all are very happy we've kept this at 2 hours and not 4 hours or 10 hours or what the hell ever they've been. But definitely come join us again on Friday night for what we're going to call it Haunters Anonymous After Dark. We do have a group. We'll explain it. It is going to be much different because it's going to be wild and crazy. But James, man, if you have anything else to add, you want to?
You covered it really. I mean, you nailed all the points there, I think.
Well, I got a big mouth. But so yeah, we'll do this. Kevin, once again, thank you so much. All the viewers and listeners, absolutely thank you. Share, and we will see you Friday night. Signing off. Have a great one.
See you guys. Thanks, everyone.
Yep.